Timing your Roth conversion can make or break your retirement strategy. We tested 5 different methods using data going back to 1927, and one strategy consistently outperformed the rest. In this video, I'm going to share with you why most people get the timing wrong and what actually works even in volatile markets. Let's start with why timing matters so much when it comes to Roth conversions. You see, small details in Roth IRA conversion planning can have a massive impact on your retirement outcome. Most people only focus on the tax problem. They see a high tax deferred balance and they realize that they're going to face a high tax burden later. So naturally, the next step is to explore how much to convert, a large lump sum or small pieces over time. But that's where most people stop. And what they miss is that timing, not just the amount, can drive up to 30% more in value over time. So in this video, we're going to look at 5 different conversion timing strategies. Let's start with the most common one, year-end conversions. This is where someone who, for example, wants to convert $100,000 in 2025 would wait until December to do the conversion. The upside to this is that you have the full year's tax picture. You know what your total income is, your capital gains, and your dividends. And this helps you to navigate tricky tax items like IRMA. But here's the problem. Your Roth account misses nearly all of the gains that happen throughout the year. And historically, markets are up 8 out of every 10 years. So while your assets are sitting in a tax-deferred account, that compounded growth is happening in the wrong place. Long term, this strategy actually reduces your growth. It's popular, but historically, the data shows that it's actually the worst performing method. So now let's look at the opposite, the start of the year conversion. This is where you convert on January 1st to get the full year of tax-free growth. Of course, the downside is you won't know what your total income is going to be for the year. So if something unexpected happens throughout the year, a bonus, a stock grant, higher than expected capital gains, you may convert too much. One way to prevent this is to convert 90 to 95% of your goal early. So if you plan to convert around 100,000, do 90 to 95,000 early and leave a little cushion. Some people think this only matters in year 1, but let's look at a 4-year example. Let's say you convert 100,000 each year and the market goes down in year 1. Sure, in that first year, the end of the year method looks better. But because the start of the year approach puts money in the Roth account earlier each year, the compounding builds faster. By the end of year 4, the start of year method actually ends with about 30,000 more than the end of year method. Now let's talk about a third strategy, the split method. It's simple. Convert half at the beginning of the year, half at the end of the year. It's a hybrid and helps you to hedge the timing risk. This is our default recommendation for most retirees because it gives you both early exposure to market growth and end of the year tax planning clarity. Next up is strategy number 4, equal monthly conversions. You take your annual target and divide it by 12. So let's say 100,000 is your annual target. That's $83.33 per month. It's like dollar cost averaging, but for Roth conversions. This strategy helps smooth out the ups and downs throughout the year. And finally, strategy number 5, the drawdown method. This is the one that we typically prefer at Tailored Wealth. Here's how it works. You start with a 50% conversion in January. Then you set a drawdown trigger. Let's say 20%. So if there's a 20% drop in the market, then you convert the other 50%. And if no drop happens, then you convert the second 50% at year end. So essentially it becomes a split method by default. The advantage here is that you're diversified across early and late timing, and if there's a dip in the market, you take advantage by buying into the Roth account at a discount. Here's an example from 2020. We had a client convert 50,000 in January, and then COVID hits and the market drops 35%. That triggered the second 50,000 conversion in March. The portfolio dropped to around 75,000, which didn't feel great at that time, but by year end, it had grown to over 130,000, and that move crushed the year-end conversion method. And even if the recovery had taken longer, let's say 2 to 3 years, it still would have outperformed. The key is taking advantage when the market gives you that rare opportunity. Let's wrap this up with some historical data. We ran the numbers using data going back to 1927, and we used 2 rolling windows, 5 and 8 years. And we excluded the original conversion amounts to only focus on growth. What were the results? End of year conversions came in last by a lot. Even though they're the most popular, they trailed the leading performing method by 18%. The drawdown strategy outperformed all other methods in both time windows. The start of the year, split, and monthly methods all performed very similarly. All 3 of those performed better than the end of year method and were easier to implement than the drawdown strategy. So if you're a DIY investor and you're not utilizing the more complex drawdown method, one of those 3 middle strategies is a strong choice. But don't just default to the year-end method. Okay, so here are some final thoughts. Don't fall into the trap of cherry-picking scenarios. Yes, the drawdown method does win in the 8-year backtest. And it still wins in the 5-year backtest, but the margins are smaller. But the consistent method is this. The year-end strategy underperforms both timeframes and history. And the data is clear. Strategy matters, but timing matters even more. So if you're still defaulting to year-end Roth conversions, it might be time to rethink that plan. If you have questions about applying this to your own plan, drop them in the comments below and subscribe to our channel to get more videos like the one you just watched.